Before I get started, I just want to say, Star Wars has only made me cry a few times in the last few years. The last time I shed a tear in cinemas was actually in The Last Jedi, watching Luke Skywalker, watching him say goodbye to the twin suns, and becoming one with the Force. Since then, while I felt great emotion watching Star Wars, it has yet to bring me to tears. That changed again tonight, as this episode of The Mandalorian brought literal tears to my eyes. This video isn't so much a breakdown or an overview of the episode, however that will come. It's more of my initial thoughts, in more of a free-flow form. This season of The Mandalorian has been absolutely spectacular. I have loved nearly every single moment of it, and I feel like the weak points of this show aren't even really weak points at all. The connections to these characters that I've formed over the last 2 seasons has been spectacular, on par with some of my favorite characters from the original trilogy. This season and show has done so much. It's brought justice to the character of Boba Fett, gave us our first live-action appearance of Ahsoka Tano, and gave us a story of a youngling and a Mandalorian teaming up and forming a connection that we haven't seen before in Star Wars. The Mandalorian is by far my favorite piece of Star Wars content of this Disney era. It is unrivaled in my eyes, and this episode, and delivering what the fans wanted, was no exception. With all of this said, I'm now going to get into major spoilers and my emotions watching the episode, entitled The Rescue. So if you have not seen the episode, please go watch it before watching this video. The series The Mandalorian is absolutely worth your while if you haven't watched it yet, and is on the brink of a Star Wars masterpiece. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. As soon as the X-Wing came into frame, tears came to my eyes. I knew exactly what was going to happen, and I was going to get to see my favorite Star Wars character again. And Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight, did not disappoint. Luke did hear the call that Grogu sent out, and he answered the call as a fully formed Jedi. Watching Luke Skywalker move with ease through the Imperial cruiser was so rewarding, and I love the decision to keep him hooded for most of the sequence, until the big reveal of the green lightsaber and the classic Luke Skywalker hilt from Return of the Jedi. As Luke arrived to save the day, he seemed almost an ethereal figure, and this sequence was very much the payoff of the entirety of Return of the Jedi, the idea that the Jedi are not gone and that Luke is still out there. The decision at the end for Grogu to ultimately go to Luke Skywalker was one that shocked me, and I did not see it coming truthfully. I believed that Grogu was going to stay with Din Djarin, and that the series would continue on from there. It's clear to me that the stories and these characters will in fact return later down the line, even though it appears as if next year's show will revolve around Boba Fett, and will likely not feature much of Din Djarin or Grogu. However, I do believe full-heartedly that these characters will return in a few years, with Giancarlo Esposito, the actor who plays Moff Gideon, saying that The Mandalorian has several seasons mapped out for its story, and that the second season's goal was really to widen the universe, which it certainly has. I just want to put everyone's minds at ease and say that Din Djarin will definitively return. I'm sure of it, even if it's not in a year's time, and next year's show will predominantly focus on Boba Fett and his goals and trials. Back to Luke though, watching him move through the hallway at the end was very reminiscent of his father's scene in Rogue One, and now the running gag and theme in Star Wars that if you put a Force wielder in a hallway, an awesome scene is about to happen. The decision for Din Djarin to remove his helmet in front of Grogu at the end was another scene that brought tears to my eyes, showing the full evolution of the character, and I was glad that we got to see Pedro Pascal's performance without the helmet on, where you could really see how deeply pained he was saying goodbye to Grogu. This episode of The Mandalorian was everything that I wanted and more. Truthfully, I did not see Luke Skywalker coming to save the child, and I cannot believe that they did it and actually pulled it off appropriately. Going earlier on in the episode, I thought the duel between Moff Gideon and Din Djarin was also intriguing, with Din Djarin besting Moff Gideon and ultimately Gideon trying to get Bo-Katan to challenge Din to single combat, harkening back to her insecurities that Bo-Katan never actually defeated Maul in single combat, therefore her rule and claim to Mandalore coming into question. There are so many loose ends with this season of The Mandalorian, the ultimate fate of the Darksaber, and far more. I thought the action in the episode was beautifully done, and I do like how it didn't completely get rid of Moff Gideon achieving a lot of his goals. He even admits to Din that he successfully gained Grogu's blood, meaning that likely his goals of becoming Force sensitive are also on the horizon and will be explored in a later season. The Darksaber as a whole did not disappoint, and works beautifully in live action. The respect and love that The Mandalorian shows not only to the original trilogy, but the prequel trilogy and all the animation that came before it is a true benchmark of Star Wars. A lot of the issues that I found in Star Wars before is they really only focus on one individual platform or era, ignoring nearly all of the others. Until now, The Mandalorian is a perfect marriage of all of the eras of Star Wars, from the sequel to the original to the prequels, and again, as I said, to animation and comics and far more. This is the perfect example of how to do Star Wars. It is all Star Wars, and getting to see these characters from different eras come together is absolutely tear-inducing. I have not been this enthused to be a Star Wars fan since The Force Awakens, and I forgot what that pure feeling of joy really felt like for a while. Not that I didn't like a lot of the Disney era content, I did, but I didn't think that it was meeting its full potential. Now it certainly is, and we can only hope that they continue to do this moving forward. I adored this last episode of The Mandalorian, and I adored Season 2 entirely. The Mandalorian finally allowed me to get to see Luke Skywalker again, and reminded me why I have been such an avid Star Wars fan for my entire life. Anyway, my friends, this is simply my first reaction, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments down below. How do you feel about the Season 2 finale of The Mandalorian? Do you have any concerns? And what are your thoughts on the character of Luke Skywalker returning to a galaxy far, far away? Stay tuned for a full ending breakdown as well as a full episode breakdown in the coming days. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more reaction videos in the future, please hit that like button. May the Force be with you and have a great day.